Okay, so as we get closer to the end of the year, let's take a look back and maybe define achievement. Hey, what's up? It's Ken, this is kenfuTV, and every Monday I release videos on the martial arts and philosophy and training and all that sort of thing. So if you're new here, be sure to hit that subscribe, hit that bell so you know when new videos come out, and make sure to hit the like on this video. So let's take a look at achievement. We're getting ready to wrap up 2019. If you've been training for a better part of this year, then you've had some different probably milestones come through, different rank promotions, stuff like that, all those big achievements. But I think it's really important that we spend time focusing on the little achievements too. In fact, those big achievements were just built by a compilation of a whole bunch of little achievements that we make. Every class, every session, every time we train, we're achieving. I mean, just showing up and making it through the door is an achievement on its own. And I know you know what I'm talking about, because I know that when you train, that you see people who aren't usually there. They don't always make it or whatever. And so, and don't forget to recognize that for them too. When they show up, that's an achievement for them. If they can't usually make it and they did that day, that's awesome. That's really great. And if you make it more regularly, that's awesome. That actually is a huge achievement. No martial arts journey is really terribly successful until you get the chance to really be present. It takes time on the mat. It takes time grinding through the parts where you feel like you're not making it. You feel like you're not making any progress. Hell, you might even feel like you're slipping backwards. But showing up takes courage and builds something in you that's irreplaceable. Okay, your perseverance is worth way more than any of the rest of your training. If you can persevere through anything, then nothing can stop you. I think at the end of the day, that's really, really important to focus on. Show up, work hard, and recognize the little stuff. Okay? Every day when you train, you might get a little bit better at all the little things you did that day. You might come to a new understanding of the stuff that you've been working on. Hell, something about the class might have even given you a new understanding of something that wasn't even a part of that class that day. It just gave you some perspective that allowed you to understand some things a little bit different. It's those understandings that make all the change for you in your training. I like to talk sometimes about how I don't teach my students. I talk to them and say, I don't teach you. Because I personally believe that a guide is a much better word. Further up the path, I'm heading the direction you're hopefully heading to go, or at least part of the way. So I can guide you through the stuff that I've figured out, the stuff that I know, the challenges that I've been through that have been positive and negative, and help guide you through that. But at the end of the day, every bit of knowledge that you have, you had to work the process of translating that and putting it into yourself. You teach you. So you've got guides, you've got mentors, we call them teachers, and maybe that's just getting to the heart of the idea of what a teacher is, right? Maybe a teacher's job is just to provide the ability for you to learn. Not specifically teach you something, but provide the ability for you to ingest knowledge and make it your own. Because as soon as that happens, as soon as it comes out of your teacher and it passes through the filter of your understanding, then and only then does it become yours. And while you can go, I know this, and you can look to the person next to you and be like, you know this too, we learned this the same day, we both know this. Your knowledge is different. Your understanding may not match theirs exactly, and it might be close. It could be way off, it could be very different, and that's okay. Because at the end of the day, the only thing you can have is your knowledge. The knowledge that you pick up and it becomes a part of you. And then you get that body knowledge too. As you continue to train, you train this stuff into your body. That body knowledge is very, very specifically, exclusively yours, right? Nobody else is in your body, your exact body, moving the way that you do, with the strength that you have, with the flexibility that you have, the mobility that you have, positive or negative on any of those. It's never gonna be 100% matched to the person next to you. So your training is yours. And how you come out of that and what you understand is unique to you. And it's important that you foster that. And you foster that by little achievements, right? When you learn a little bit more about how to do that a little bit quicker, hit with just that little bit more power, turn your body a little bit more, whatever it is that helps you develop more balance and more strength and more coordination and more any of that. those achievements count. Those achievements matter. At the end of the day, the big achievements that you get is really like, look at rank promotion. Rank promotion is an acknowledgement of those achievements. You don't go do a thing and they're like, yes, you've done this one thing, now you have achieved this. No, it's recognition of all of the things you've achieved. When you demonstrate what you're capable of doing for that rank or whatever, you're demonstrating that you have already learned and possessed and achieved that ability. And now you're just demonstrating it, right? If you were achieving it in that moment, then you wouldn't succeed. You're able to demonstrate and present that because of the fact that you've already achieved it. You've already done it. So you should always look at those big moments as something that was built up by moments that you ignored. And the more you kind of pay attention to those, and maybe it'll help you through those hurdles a little bit better when you feel stagnated, when you feel like you're on that plateau and you're just not going anywhere. Recognize that you are. Every step forward gets you there. Right? A journey is not one thing that just boom, you've arrived. It's every step, each time, a little bit further. And yeah, sometimes we get a second wind and we get those big steps, right? And sometimes we run, and sometimes we find a shortcut that takes us further, whatever it is. But then sometimes it's just slogging slowly. But if we don't stop, we will make it. We will. So recognize those achievements. As you go into this next year, really pay attention to the kind of things that are happening to your training. Keep a notebook and journal. Write down the stuff that you liked about your training that day, the things that you figured out. I think you'll be surprised how much you're taking away every time you train, and how much those things affect your overall progress. And guess what? It's not just when you're in the dojo either. It's when you're training on your own. Hell, even just thinking about it, right? It's been proven that a person's ability to ingest and become better even just by looking at something or visualizing it is a real thing. So when you train a lot and you get a body knowledge, there were some studies, cognitive studies on people doing, say, kata, for example. They've done a bunch of kata. While watching kata, their brain activates in the same way as it does when they're performing kata. Well, that's a pretty big deal. So even when you're not physically training, there's so many moments where you are progressing. Even if you just make a connection. That movement looks just like this one movement we do. Cool. That's a little bit that takes you that little bit further. So as you go into this next year, really just try to look for the little stuff. And I promise you the big stuff will happen. That's it for today. Keeping it kind of short. If you like this video, hit the like and all that. Dislike it, throw that down there. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Hit that bell. I guess YouTube cares about all this stuff. So you help me out when you do that. And in the meantime, what should I talk about next? What kind of questions do you have? What kind of things are on your mind? Maybe that'll be the next video. So anyway, have a great week, and I'll catch you later.